Good morning, fellow travelers. My name is Ember Aeternal, and welcome to my channel, Spritforgecoaching. Today I'm going to be giving a general reading. It's not going to resonate with everyone, but if it does, take what fits and leave what doesn't. If you'd like a personal reading at some point, please contact me at spritforgecoaching@gmail.com. Let's get started. Spirit, please give us the wisdom and knowledge needed to navigate our lives with dignity, grace, and truth. We have the Knight of Cups. Cups are about intuition, emotion, connection, and often about love in community or romance. The Knight is the Knights are the messengers of all the suits, and this could be a message of love or connection or a message from your intuition. Let me get obstacles to see if I can get any deeper meaning. We have the Eight of Cups. This is cutting your losses. Now, why are you cutting your losses? Is something too close? Too emotional? Is your intuition telling you something? Let's get supports. We have the King of Swords. So the kings are the masters of the energy of their suits. And swords is about communication, intelligence, and therefore it could also be about deception. But since this is in supports, there is a need to think clearly here, to think as accurately as possible. And with the King of Swords being here, you have that ability. So you really need to think about why you're feeling the need to cut your losses. And I'm getting a sense of some sort of deep involvement with something. So maybe somebody is too close and you fear it. Let's get subconscious influences. We have the Seven of Pentacles. Pentacles, also known as coins in other decks, is about stability, grounding, can be about wealth. I want want to say maturity. Yeah, that popped into my head for some reason. Pentacles are connected to Earth, which is the most solid and slowest moving of the energies. And it could be said that the Earth is more mature than any other part of the planet. I mean, without the Earth, nothing else could exist, perhaps. But I'm getting waiting for the harvest to come in. You have planted your seeds, you have done the work, and now you're just waiting for the proceeds to come in, the harvest to come in. You're waiting for the proof of the work that you've done to come in. So let's get ego. You know, with this on top of cutting your losses and obstacles, this could just be that you feel like you're weeding out the things that you are not going to need from this harvest. Like if you've planted corn, you don't want any of the weeds that are growing around it. You know, unless you're a witch, then you tend to gather all the weeds because you recognize that they're not actually weeds. They all have a purpose. They all have a use. But anyway, it looks like you might be cutting your losses with this. Maybe there's a part of your... Yes, I'm going to stick with the harvest analogy. Maybe there's a part of your harvest that died and is therefore useless. So you're just weeding all that out in order to try to figure out how best to move forward with the gains that you have. Let's move on to ego. We have the Three of Swords. So in ego, this, with swords being about communication, it can be a breakdown in communication and therefore be causing heartbreak or heartache. There is some sort of sadness here, which is why you might be cutting your losses. But there is a call here in your supports to think critically so that you can actually decide if you should be cutting your losses. You might be pulling up viable plants instead of weeds. So that's let's get conscious influences. We have one that turned up right here. We have two that turned up right. So we have the Three of Cups and the King of Wands. Again, the cups are about emotion and connection, love and intuition. And then we have the King of Wands. Kings are the masters of the energy of their suit, and wands are about action and passion and the will to manifest. So this king, I get the feeling that this King of Wands is a person, and it is influencing this Three of Cups, which is you have a desire to uncover the truth about this King of Wands. You have a master of action and manifestation in your life. And you know, wands are very fast energy. I'm wondering if you fear that this king is moving too fast. And if you allow this king to move too fast, it might cause you some heartache. You might be hurt. Yeah, so this isn't actual heartache. This is fear of heartache. So it looks like you might be, to use another analogy, throwing the baby out with the bathwater. You might just need to throw out the bathwater and keep the baby. I know, not an exactly accurate analogy, because this is an adult person, probably an adult male. So let's get past influences. We have the Hanged Man. So this can be sacrifice, being in a holding pattern. I have to come back to this. I lost my train of thought. So let's get current circumstances. An upside down card here. We have the Nine of Swords. So this is anxiety. These are the circumstances that you are in now. And I found my train of thought with the Hanged Man. I think I saw another upright card. So the Hanged Man is on top of the Seven of Pentacles, which is, you know, another indication of being in a holding pattern. You know that you have the harvest ahead. You just have to wait for it. And this past experience, I'm getting this feeling of not stagnation, but just suspension, waiting, like with Odin when he hung himself from the Yggdrasil tree in order to gain knowledge and wisdom. He sacrificed himself. And there was another time that he sacrificed his eye in order to gain knowledge and wisdom. So this is the wait before the sacrifice actually takes place. And there's something about this. It's almost like you've given it your all in the past, and then when you actually gave your sacrifice, you got nothing out of it. I think that's what you're afraid of. I think you're afraid you'll get nothing out of yet another sacrifice. And this brings you to the current moment, present circumstances. You're in anxiety. You fear that you'll get your heart broken again. And I think you fear it's going to be by this King of Wands. And you have a need to uncover the truth about this King of Wands. And rightly so. I mean, we should all know the truth before we step into deep involvement with something. But don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. I know I'm mixing analogies. I know I'm mixing metaphors. Don't throw the harvest out before it's ready just because you found a couple of invasive insects. Okay. So let's get future influences. we have the Five of Pentacles, poverty. This is possible financial loss. It could simply be fear of possible financial loss. You have your anxiety right here. You have your history of sacrificing things and then getting nothing in return for your sacrifice. Let me rephrase that. You have in your past times that you have sacrificed yourself and you have gotten nothing in return for your sacrifice. Let's get outcome. We have, I'm just going to take the top card, the Ace of Wands. So the aces are about potential new beginnings, and wands are about action, passion, the will to manifest. They can also be about sex. I get the feeling that this King of Wands is a very sensual person. But the outcome of this, the Ace of Wands, is freedom from restraints. So this might be just a fear of loss, a fear of poverty. It might not be actual. This whole line coming from the Hanged Man over to here just seems to be about anxiety and fear. In fact, most of this seems to be fear of loss, fear of heartache, fear of heartbreak. But I get the sense that if you think accurately, don't try to take emotion out of it. Emotion is involved 100% in all decisions. But if you try to think accurately, if you take the time to process everything, you will figure this out. And I get the feeling that your anxiety is unwarranted. That this fear of loss, this fear of poverty, and I think this is more than financial poverty that you fear. I think this is emotional, spiritual, financial, physical poverty, all the poverties that you fear. I think you just fear your heart being broken again. But freedom from restraints, freedom from fear is what you'll get out of this. Freedom from fear. So let's get overall energy. We have the Nine of Wands. So again, wands are about passion, the will to manifest, action. Wands are the fastest moving energy in tarot. By contrast, the pentacles are the slowest moving energy. So your overall energy is that this is a cycle of completion. The 9s and 10s are mirror images of each other. So the 10 of Wands can be about being overburdened, about being exhausted. And the 9 of Wands can be a precursor to this. But in this case, I think what's happening is a cycle is ending here, a cycle is completing, and you're going to be able to move on as a wiser person. Hopefully as a mended person. Freedom from restraints, freedom from fear. Fear is what keeps us from mending, from healing. So it seems that this here, with this King of Wands, it seems that he is a catalyst for ending this cycle of fear so that you can heal. Let's get 3 cards. Balancing factors, unknown influences, suggested improvements. Perception and revelation. So this is the balancing factor, and this is balancing cutting your losses. This, use your perception, use your intuition, use your ability to see things clearly and think clearly and think critically, and use this perception to gain revelation, not only about this situation, but about yourself. Why specifically are you in such fear? Have you been hurt so many times that you just don't trust anyone? Valid. But is it accurate for this King of Wands? Use your perception to gain your revelations. Lean on your intuition, but don't allow it to be the gavel that the judge within yourself uses to condemn someone. Simply allow your intuition to help you decide if this King of Wands is the right person to be in your life right now. So let's get unknown influences. We have folly. You feel like you've messed up before. You thought you were healed. You thought you could see the problems that other people caused whenever they would enter your life. But time and time again, it just caused heartache, so you feel like you've led a life of folly. And that's just not true. I mean, yes, we are all responsible for our lives, but we are not responsible for the actions of others. You are only responsible for your own actions. So remember, just because somebody else has done things to break your heart doesn't mean it's your fault that they did those things. It's absolutely not your fault that they did those things. That's their responsibility, and they need to hold themselves accountable while you hold yourself accountable for your life. There is a quote by Maya Angelou that I love for this. Let me see if I can pull it out of my brain. Do the best you can until you know better. Then when you know better, do better. Love that quote. So let's get suggested improvements. We have Neglecting duties. Do you have a tendency to neglect your duties to yourself when somebody new comes into your life who ignites that spark for you? This is a warning that you may do that again if you do not heal from your past pain. But this is also an opportunity to close that cycle. Very definitely. Overall energy is laziness. Don't be lazy in your healing. And don't be lazy in your thinking, in your processing everything. Please pay attention to everything, as exhausting as that can be. Laziness is your enemy here. Please do not be lazy with your own healing. And if you're not the kind of person to be lazy, then pay attention to whether or not this King of Wands is lazy. Is this King of Wands physically lazy, emotionally lazy, spiritually lazy? Use your critical thinking to discover it. And perhaps you can not only avoid another heartbreak, but complete a cycle. So you can just skip over that and move on to the next person who might be better for you. I think I'm finished here. If you like the way that I read, please like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification button so you can be informed of all of my content whenever I post it. I hope you have a truly blessed day.